Good day, learners, and welcome sa isa na namang fun learning session ng ating Senior High School Accounting. Are you excited? So, kunin nyo na ang inyong Module 3 and let's get started! The financial statements form a set of interrelated reports. The statement of financial position was discussed in Module 1. In Module 2, we studied the statement of comprehensive income. The third part of the set, which will be discussed in this module, is the statement of changes in equity. Pero bago tayo mag-discuss about SCE, dating gawin muna tayo. Let's have a short review of what we've learned last time. In your answer sheets, write a short definition of the following. A. Statement of comprehensive income. B. Single-step SCI. And the third one, multi-step SCI. Next, enumerate the parts of the SCI. There are 4 parts and write it in your answer sheet. At the end of our lesson, you should be able to identify the purpose and elements of the SCE, determine the nature of the different equity accounts used by corporations, and prepare a statement of changes in equity. Recall that SFP is a report on the company's assets, liabilities, and equity. The equity component of the SFP shows the claim of the owners on the company's assets. This is the reason why equity accounts are of particular interest to the readers of the financial statements. The statement of changes in equity is prepared to meet the requirements of the readers to understand the transactions that caused the movements in equity accounts. The SCE is a statement dated for the year ended, and the report shows the reconciliation of the beginning and ending balances of the equity account. Naaalala niyo pa ba ang mga forms of business organization? There are 3 basic forms. Can you name them? Let's see kung tama kayo. First is sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship is the simplest form of business organization with only one owner, referred to as the sole proprietor. Oftentimes, the owner is also the manager. The business has no legal personality separate from its owner. In the eyes of the law, the business and the owner is one entity. For example, may grocery store si Aling Nena. Sa mata ng batas, one entity lang ang grocery store at ang owner. Kung malugi ang business ni Aling Nena at hindi sapat ang assets ng company or ng grocery stores para mabayaran ng mga creditors, pwedeng habulin ng mga creditors ang personal assets ni Aling Nena. The second form is partnership. Partnership is a business owned by 2 or more owners called partners. They pool their resources together such as money, property, and industry to operate a business and divide the profits among themselves. Partners are generally involved in the management of the business. The agreement of the partners are stated in the contract of partnership, specifically the partners' profit and loss sharing agreement. A partnership has a legal personality separate from its owners. It is taxed separately from the partners except for those formed for the practice of profession of the partners. Example niyan ay mga lawyers and accountants. However, the claims of the partnership creditors may extend to the partner's personal assets. The third form is corporation. It is the most complex of the business organization. And ang tawag sa mga may-ari nito ay stockholders or shareholders. Ownership is divided into common stocks or shares of stocks. One shareholder can own many stocks. Shareholders are not normally in the day-to-day operation of the corporation. Rather, owners set up policies for the management of the corporation. In policy setting, each stock is normally entitled to one vote. So, kunwari, ang isang stockholder na nagmamay-ari ng 1,000 stocks has 1,000 votes. Therefore, the stockholder that owns 50% plus 1 of the total stock outstanding can take control of the corporation. Lahat ng rules about management ng corporation ay nakasulat sa Articles of Incorporation and Bylaws. There are two characteristics of corporation. First, separation of ownership and management. Ibig sabihin, shareholders invest their funds and the corporation is managed by professional managers. Next, shareholders have limited liabilities. Creditors of the corporation only have claims to the corporation's assets. So, hindi kasali ang personal assets ng mga stockholders or shareholders. Let's take a look at these terms. Initial investment, the very first investment of the owner of the company. Next, additional investment. This increases the owner's equity by adding investments by the owner. Example, monthly or quarterly, the owner of the business adds funds for the business. Ang tawag doon ay additional investment. Or these are the funds added in the course of the business. Next, withdrawals. This decreases equity. Ito yung mga cash drawn by the owner. And distribution of income, this is in the case of corporation. When a company is organized as a corporation, the owners do not decrease equity by way of withdrawal. Instead, the corporation distributes the income to the shareholders based on the shares that they have or the percentage of ownership of the company. Now, let's proceed to the different parts of the statement of changes in equity. This is an example of a statement of changes in equity for a sole proprietorship. It has three main parts: the heading, the increases to equity, and decrease to equity. So, isa-isahin natin. Sa heading, it is composed of, una, sa first line is the name of the company. Second line is the title of the financial statement. And the third line, the period kung kailan ginawa ang financial statements. Sa example natin, nakalagay for the year ended December 31, 2019. Next, Rection Capital January 1, 2019. Ibig sabihin, pwedeng yan yung initial investment of the owner. So, 100,000. Next, you add net income and additional investment. Yung 75,000 na value na katapat ng 100,000, yun yung sum ng 50,000 and 25,000. So, ang subtotal ay 175,000. Followed by the decrease to equity, which is correction drawings or mga withdrawals made by the owner of the business, which is amounted to 30,000. So, you subtract the subtotal and the drawings, ang sagot ay 145,000. Ibig sabihin, at the end of the accounting period, December 31, 2019, ang Rection Capital account ay mayroon ng 145,000. This is what an SCE of a partnership looks like. So, kagaya sa example kanina sa sole proprietorship, may tatlong parts din ang SCE ng partnership. So, una ang heading, next ay increases to equity, and next ay decreases to equity. Pero there are differences. So, ito yung mga pagkakaiba ng sole proprietorship and partnership SCE. Sa title, instead na ang nakalagay ay Statement of Changes in Equity or Statement of Changes in Owner's Equity, dito ang nakalagay ay Statement of Changes in Partner's Equity to denote na ito ay partnership. There are 2 or more owners, kaya may column for each partner. Sa example natin ito, dalawa yung owner of the business, kaya may column for partner A and partner B. The net income is divided into 2 since dalawa nga yung mag-partner. Sa example natin, ang profit sharing nila ay 50-50. So yung net income na 50,000 ay dinivide equally sa both partners. Okay. So yan, nakalagay dyan. Same pa rin, kagaya nung kanina. So capital, nung January 1, 2016, you add the net income and additional investment. Then you'll get the subtotal, less lahat ng drawings ng both partners. And you will end with the capital December 31, 2016, which is 170,000. Magkaiba sila dahil magkaiba rin sila ng initial investment and magkaiba rin yung kanilang additional investment. Lastly, the SCE of a corporation. The statement of changes in shareholders' equity is used by a corporation instead of the statement of changes in owners' equity. The differences between the two are as follows. Una, sa title. Instead of owners, shareholders is used to denote that this is a corporation. Second, there are unlimited number of shareholders. But unlike the partnership, the names of the shareholders are not indicated here. Instead, the corporation keeps an official list with a corporate secretary. Next, the capital account is called share capital, just like the owners being shareholders. Fourth, instead of additional investment, share issuances increases the share capital of the corporation. This happens when shares are sold to shareholders. And lastly, instead of withdrawals, distribution of net income to shareholders decreases the capital of the corporation. So meron pa rin siyang tatlong part. So the heading increases to equity and decreases to equity. In your module, may mga example pang nakalagay para mas maintindihan nyo pa at mas ma-appreciate ninyo ang ating module 3. So that's it! Thank you! And see you sa next module. Bye!